Cleopatra was born in Egypt, but her ancestry dates to Ptolemy Isoter, an officer under Alexander the Great. After Alexander's demise in 323 BCE, Ptolemy assumed control of Egypt, ushering in a 3-century-long dynasty of Greek-speaking emperors. Despite not being of Egyptian descent, Cleopatra recognized the importance of appearing familiar to her subjects. She was the first Ptolemaic monarch to learn Egyptian and adopt many of the nation's traditional practices. She might have miscarried a child. Several ancient sources assert that Cleopatra was actually expecting a child when she left Rome shortly after her ally and lover Caesar was assassinated. Her return trip was in such risky situations that she might have miscarried her deceased lover's child under the strain. If these rumors are accurate, one can only feel sorry for this woman. Unsolved mystery of her demise. After losing the renowned naval battle at Actium to Octavian's forces, Cleopatra and Antony are known for taking their own lives in 30 BCE. While it is generally acknowledged that Antony executed himself by stabbing himself in the stomach, Cleopatra's method of self-harm is up for debate. According to some, she persuaded an asp viper or Egyptian cobra to bite her arm, which is contrary to what other historians believe. Many academics now believe that Cleopatra executed herself using a pin that had been dipped in some kind of potent poison because she was known to hide a lethal poison in one of her hair combs. She had 4 children, but only one survived to adulthood. Caesarion was the first child born to Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, along with another son, Ptolemy Philadelphus Antonius. By Mark Antony. She also gave birth to identical twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene. Later on, Cleopatra Selene was crowned monarch of Mauretania. The lives of Cleopatra's other 3 children with Mark Antony were spared, but Caesarion succumbed to Octavian's orders. Alexander, who was 10 years old, and Ptolemy Philadelphus Antonius, who was 4 years old, were instead transported to Rome and placed in the custody of Octavian's sister, Octavia, to whom Mark Antony was still married. A few years Alexander Helios and Ptolemy Philadelphus Antonius vanished, and it was believed that they were executed by the orders of Augustus. The only survivor was Cleopatra Selene. She was married to King Juba II of Mauretania and gave birth to at least one child, Ptolemy Philadelphus, who was probably named after his mother's younger brother. Along with Jubas, her likeness was minted on coins, indicating that she shared power equally with him. She was probably not a ravishing beauty. Although Cleopatra is portrayed romantically as an appealing goddess, most contemporary accounts claim that she had a somewhat masculine appearance with a long nose. However, she made up for her lack of classical features with charm, wit, and intelligence. More than anything else, Hollywood movies contributed to the pharaoh's reputation as a stunning beauty. She married both of her brothers. Ptolemaic dynasty royals married within the family to maintain the purity of their bloodline and to consolidate their power. It's likely that Cleopatra's parents were brothers and sisters because many of her ancestors had relationships with cousins or siblings. Following this disturbing tradition, Cleopatra married both of her young brothers, who each served as her spouse and co-regent, at various points during her reign. She was extremely intelligent. Cleopatra may not have been particularly attractive, but one thing is for sure, she was incredibly intelligent. Cleopatra is thought to have been a polyglot who could speak close to 12 languages, despite Roman propaganda portraying her as an oversexed temptress. She received training in astronomy, philosophy, oratory, and mathematics. Cleopatra was referred to as a philosopher and sage by the Arab historian al-Masudi, 896–956 CE, who elevated the ranks of scholars and enjoyed their company. Additionally, he claimed that she wrote a number of books on medicine, charms, and cosmetics. In the piece of writing she titled Cosmetics, she suggested remedies for dandruff and hair loss. Her voice is what captured Caesar's heart. Upon their first meeting, as Cleopatra and Caesar spoke in Greek, it was explained that the true elixir that seduced and ensnared Caesar was just her voice. As the Roman author Cassius Dio had stated at the time, no sooner had Caesar seen her and heard her speak than he was immediately fascinated. Cleopatra had a stylist. Eras, Cleopatra's personal makeup artist, was responsible for her iconic black kohl eyeliner. Her eyes were accentuated by having a long black kohl line that extended from her eyes all the way to her temples, which was done with the aid of a golden rod. The Egyptian court's top makeup artist, Eras, later rose to become the queen's most trusted advisor. During the renowned Battle of Actium, she remained by Cleopatra's side, and in the end, she passed away in Eras's arms in 30 BC.